Continuing politics, where Governor Tambuwal of Sokoto State emerged the chairman of the People's Democratic Party Governors Forum, promising to work with his colleagues and unite the party. While addressing the National Executive Council meeting of the PDP in Abuja, Governor Tambuwal asked members to ensure that congresses to be conducted at both state and national levels are transparent. Some of the party members believe disagreement among some of its leaders led to the loss of the governorship seat during the November 2019 governorship election in Bayelsa State.
We assure you as your governors that we shall continue to work together in unison, in unity, and work with the National Working Committee and leadership of the party in ensuring that the programs of the party, especially in our respective states, in line with our manifestos, are implemented. And we shall also continue to support the party in its growth, drive for membership and development. All of the issues that the chairman has raised in his speech today, we have taken them, and by the grace of God, we shall work together with them in ensuring that we deepen democracy in our dear country. I will appeal, Mr. Chairman, that the upcoming congresses, we are going to give you all the support that you require as your governors, and we should ensure that we use them to further deepen our democracy by being transparent, all-inclusive in the processes, so that we can continue to win over more members and build a more virile and stronger party in PDP.
And 2 weeks after an FCT High Court in Abuja sacked Senator Ifeanyi Ubah as a lawmaker representing Anambra South Federal Constituency, the embattled senator insists that he was never given a fair hearing. He says the court never bothered to cross-check with the National Examination Council, NECO, on the allegation of forged certificate. Mr. Obin Nauzo of the People's Democratic Party had challenged the electoral victory of Senator Ifeanyi Ubah in the February 2019 senatorial polls over alleged certificate forgery. At a news conference in Abuja today, where he presented a letter of results authentication, Senator Ubah is optimistic that he will get justice at the appeal court.
I didn't have a fair hearing in court. I was never served. Up till today, in the court record, my name is blank on the service, and I was never served. This matter that was brought to the court came after the election. We had the election on February 23, and our election result was announced on February 24th. But for me, I just want to clear my name that I did not forge any result. My result is NECO has cleared it, and anybody is free to go to NECO or go to my school to ascertain both from where I took my NECO result. By the grace of God, I believe that we have justice in the Court of Appeal. And then also, we have also challenged the matter before the Federal High Court.
Four persons have been confirmed killed by Lassa fever virus in Taraba State, which has become one of the latest states to record the outbreak of the virus. The state's Commissioner of Health, Dr. Innocent Vakai, says the Ministry of Health has so far recorded 15 suspected cases of Lassa fever, with only 5 turning positive. He says 4 out of the 5 positive tested patients have died. According to him, most of the cases came from 6 local government areas of Bali, Gashaka, Gasol, Adokola, Jalingo and Ibi. The Commissioner explained that the state government has activated a surveillance system for more case detection and proper treatment, as well as creating awareness for people to know the symptoms of the disease. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo is advocating a focus on the entrepreneurial skills and creativity exhibited during the Civil War to ensure the artifacts and monuments at the National Museum are preserved. Professor Osinbajo stated his position in Umuahia, the Abia State capital, during a special town hall meeting to address issues of national unity and to chart the way forward for the common future of the country. Let's get the latest business stories. Here's Anne Wilder.
Banking so easy, so simple. Dial *894# now to experience it. You first, First Bank.
Thank you, Millicent. Welcome to Business News. Reactions have continued to trail last Friday's surprise decision by the Central Bank of Nigeria to raise the cash reserve ratio to banks to 27.5%, coming from 22.5%. The Group Managing Director of AfriInvest West Africa, Mr. Ike Chioke, says that investors' search for quality risky assets will continue despite the CRR increase. The investment banker was speaking on our Business Morning program earlier today.
We expect to see something like 4 trillion naira of OMO maturities in the first quarter alone. With this increase in CRR by 500 basis points, they're trying to at least neutralize 853 billion naira of that. So that's quite significant. And in that way, they can hold on to inflation, since they have decided in the trilemma of economics, exchange rate, inflation, and interest rate, they are going to leave exchange rate as it is for now. Inflation has also been driven by the border closure, as you know, with food price inflation having jumped up quite significantly in the last 3 months of last year. So those are some of those variables that they must seek, that have guided them to take this kind of decision. Increasing the LDR from, in fact, putting at a target of 60% before, we saw something like over 800 billion naira of potential capacity for banks to lend. When they didn't do that by September last year, CBN further increased it to 65%, and we were estimating something like another 1.5 trillion naira of lending capacity. Now, banks are therefore compelled to reach those thresholds. So clearly, the search for good quality risk assets is unrivaled. This has meant that banks are now reducing lending rates astronomically. I've seen consumer lending is now in the mid-single double digits. Some banks are offering as little as 15% to borrow, whereas this time, 2 years ago, you couldn't borrow at less than 22% as an individual. So there's a scramble to create risk assets. At the same time, that is introducing more liquidity in the system.
Let's head to Cross River State now, where the governor, Professor Ben Ayade, wants to buy-in of all Nigerians towards completing the Bakassi Deep Sea Port. Mr. Ayade says that the port and the superhighway under construction are strategic economic decisions that will benefit the North. Governor Ayade spoke to State House correspondents after a meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the State House in Abuja. The governor says other issues he discussed with the president include the support to Cross River State as a fallout of sitting of Bakassi Peninsula. The recent announcement by the Central Bank of Nigeria to raise cash reserve ratio negatively affected performance of big banks as well as the stock market at the close of trading today. Let's hear more from Ekaite Afia.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. The stock market begins the final trading week of January on a negative note in the main index, largely on the back of losses from 4 listed Tier 1 lenders. This comes after the money market reacted to last week's announcement by the Central Bank's Monetary Policy Committee to cut cash reserve ratio for banks in a bid to encourage lending to the economy. In response, the NSE's banking index sector closed Monday's session down sharply by 1.19%, while the 9.97% price drop from consumer goods giant Unilever and 12 other laggards added to the 39 billion naira loss in market value. Meanwhile, Nigeria Aviation Handling Company is highest among 12 gainers, up by 9.80%, while small cap insurer Veritas Capital contributed half of more than 444 million total units of shares traded for the day. And that's the Stock Market Report. I'm Ekaite Afia.
Thank you, Ekaite. Stocks on Wall Street, Europe and Asia have ended Monday's trading session mostly in the red as coronavirus takes its toll on major markets across the globe. Here are the closing numbers for today. And that's Business News Tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Anne Nwawado. The rest of the news at 10 continues now with Millicent.
Banking, so easy, so simple. Dial star 894 hash now to experience it. You first, First Bank.
Thank you, Anne. And LAPO Microfinance Bank, family-focused financial institution, has launched My Pekin and I, a product designed to transform the lives of their clients and their children. The management of the bank says it is facilitating the build-up of funds for children, having focused on the parent packages for many years.
It is the launch of a new product, and LAPO Microfinance Bank hopes to help low-income families build resilience through its new offering. My Pekin and I is a savings account designed to provide clients with the opportunity to save towards the welfare of their children and dependents. Not just that, it comes with loads of benefits.
For the bank, our savings interest rate is 4.05%. which is very competitive if you look at other players in the market.
The bank says it has identified social exclusion of women and children as a challenge and seeking to solve the problem with financial inclusion by targeting small and medium enterprise.
The first is to, enable our women, that is LAPO women, to make savings in addition to theirs. To also save on their behalf, on behalf of their children. But we also know that when children become aware that they have an account, a savings account with an organization like LAPO, even if they are not at this point in time making their savings, it tends to also inculcate in them the culture, the spirit of, saving.
The account designed to deepen saving culture also has a very low minimum opening and operating balance.
We have a lot of benefit. Besides the conventional interest rates that we are told is quite competitive in our environment, we do also have other features.
Whether it's fire, it's burglary, it's an accident, it's disability, we're able to provide insurance at a very, in fact, it's free. So not just affordable, but it's free for the clients. That for us is one of our key selling points. And for the child, so the name of the product being My Pekin and I, for the child, we're offering educational scholarship.
The management of LAPO Microfinance Bank promises to continue improving lives by committing to the social and economic empowerment of low-income households through provision of access to responsive financial services on a sustainable basis.
Still ahead on the news at 10, death toll from the coronavirus infection in China rises to 81, with authorities trying to contain as many as 3,000 cases. That's from our London studios and around the world in 5+. World number one, Rafael Nadal, on course for 20th Grand Slam title at the Australian Open after winning 5-set quarter-final thriller. We have that on Sports News. Please stay with us.